Ah, somebody pushed my face in.
Love how his paws are folded up.
Yeah. Well, don't be so pugnacious, please.
Oh, don't be so punny.
Well, what have we here? Have you brought some light to the group? That's wonderful, Lee. Minds that are joined and recognize they are joined can feel no guilt, for minds that are joined cannot attack, and they rejoice that this is so, seeing their safety in this happy fact that they cannot attack. Their joy of joined minds that are unable to attack is in the innocence that they see. And thus, minds that cannot attack seek for innocence because it is their purpose to behold innocence and rejoice. Everyone seeks for what will bring him joy as he defines joy. Everyone seeks for what will bring him joy as he defines joy. It is not the aim as such that varies. We all seek joy. Yet it is the way in which the aim to seek joy is seen that makes the choice of means inevitable and beyond the hope of change unless the aim is changed. And then the means are chosen once again as what will bring rejoicing is defined another way and sought for differently. Hmm.
The ego tells us that joy and happiness can be found in separation and specialness. The body is the focus. Holy Spirit advises us that our happiness must lie in truth, forgiveness, and love. The realization that we are a oneness is the key. Each thought system defines what comprises our happiness differently. The means will automatically align with our goal as we choose to define it based on our perception of what we are.
Perception's basic law could thus be said: you will rejoice at what you see because you see it to rejoice. Duh. And while you think that suffering and sin will bring you joy, so long will suffering and sin be there for you to see. Nothing is harmful or beneficent apart from what you wish it to be perceived as. That's a hard sentence to read. Nothing is harmful or beneficent apart from what you wish it to be perceived as. It is your wish that makes what you see what it is in its effects on you, because you chose what you see as a means to gain these same effects of what you want to see. You believing them to be the bringers of rejoicing and of joy. Even in heaven does this law obtain. What we desire, we must bring into our conscious awareness. The Son of God creates to bring him joy, sharing his Father's purpose in his own creation, that his joy might be increased, and God's joy increased along with his.
Our mind desires, oh, our mind's desires have the power to manifest within our conscious awareness. If our desires are loving ones, we create. Sorry. If our desires are loving ones, we create, since they can be shared within the mind of God, which is only love. If they're fear based thoughts, they cannot be shared with God,
Mm,
and they will manifest only as illusions that appear real within the split mind of the thinker, only within the mind of the thinker.
mm.
In either case, the mind's desire or goal always determines the means that will manifest within the thinking man's awareness. All thoughts have power to either make or create. How we define ourselves will determine what we decide to teach and bring into our awareness.
You, the egoic maker of a world that is not so, take rest and comfort in another world where peace abides. The other world is based on the perception of the Holy Spirit. This world that the Holy Spirit perceives, you bring with you to all the weary eyes and tired hearts that look on sin and beat sin's sad refrain. Boom, boom, boom. From you can come their rest. From you can rise a world that the weary who had believed in sin will rejoice to look upon, and where their hearts are glad. In you there is a vision of Christ that extends to all of them who had believed in sin and covers them in gentleness and light. And in this widening world of light, the darkness that they who had believed in sin thought was there is pushed away until the darkness of sin is but some distant shadows far away, not long to be remembered, as the sun shines the shadows of sin to nothingness. And all those evil thoughts and sinful hopes of those who had believed in sin, including their dreams of guilt and merciless revenge, and every wish to hurt and kill and die, will disappear before the sun you bring.
Minds, being joined, share ideas. When we share the truth with another, the illusion of the false fades from the joined minds. If we see our brother as a separate body, there can be no joining, for bodies cannot join. The thoughts of truth come from the shared mind of God. The thoughts of separation come from the split minded that we call the ego. The thought of love overcomes all egoic thoughts, since love arises from the power of God Himself.
Would you not do this? The bringing of the vision of Christ that aligns with the Holy Spirit's perception of the world to your brother for the love of God, and give this same correct perception for yourself? For think what the vision of Christ that aligns with the Holy Spirit's perception of the world would do for you. Your evil thoughts that haunt you now will seem increasingly remote and far away, so far that we couldn't read it from you. And the evil and the evil thoughts will go farther and farther off, because the sun in you has risen, that the evil thoughts may be pushed away before the light. The evil thoughts linger for a little while, in twisted forms too far away for recognition, and then are gone forever. And in the sunlight, you will stand in quiet, in innocence, and wholly unafraid. And from you will the rest you found by following the thought system of the Holy Spirit extend, so that your peace can never fall away and leave you homeless. Those who offer peace to everyone have found a home in heaven that the egoic world cannot destroy. For your peace that you offer to everyone is large enough to hold the egoic world within its peace, which is your heavenly home. Wow. Haley. Haley.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
By following the thought system of the Holy Spirit, we extend forgiveness and love to our brother. Seeing our brother as sinless and innocent, we obtain our own guiltlessness. By granting peace to our brother, we demonstrate that we possess peace. We can only give what we have, and the law of love states that to give is to receive. By releasing our brother from the awareness of any belief in sin, we have freed ourselves from the prison of our own illusion of separation and hell.
In you is all of heaven. Every leaf that falls is given life in you. Each bird that ever sang will sing again in you. And I hope they have a better voice than me. And every flower that ever bloomed, sorry, Lee, I couldn't help. And every flower that ever bloomed has saved its perfume and its loveliness for you. What aim can supersede the will of God and of his Son, that heaven be restored to him for whom heaven was created as God's Son's only home? Nothing before and nothing after the Son's restoration to heaven remains outside our one self. No other place, no other state, nor time, nothing beyond nor nearer, nothing else. Got it. In any form, this state of oneness can you bring to all the world and all the thoughts that entered the egoic world and were mistaken for a little while. How better could you own mistakes? I'm sorry. How better can your own mistakes be brought to truth than by your willingness to bring the light of heaven with you as you walk beyond the egoic world of darkness into light of truth?
In this paragraph, A Course in Miracles states that in us is all of heaven. Heaven is the real world of truth. This once again demonstrates that a oneness of everything is indivisible. That if a oneness could be subdivided into parts, each part would contain the whole, if it could. The mind of God is holographic in nature. I and my Father are one because I am the one self. There can be no separation, for there is no separation. God is, and that is all that there is.
I love that. God is, and that is all there is, my friends. And that's the truth.
That is the truth.